In the examination, if the question is draw and explain minimum mode pin details, if the question is like draw and explain minimum mode pin details, then this is how you need to draw your pin diagram. Just keep an eye. Other than pin number 24 to pin number 31, apart from pin number 24 to pin number 31, the remaining pins as it is you have to mention, and pin number 24 to pin number 31, 24 to 31, you need to represent only minimum mode functionalities. You need to represent only minimum mode functionalities. So here what are minimum mode functionalities? Whatever the functionalities that were represented within the braces, only they have to be mentioned if the question is specifically asking about minimum mode. Guys, are you clear with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
See here, there if you observe this here, from pin number 24 to pin number 31, each pin is having two functionalities. Two functionalities. One in the braces and one is out of the braces. But when in the examination, if he specifically says maximum mode pin diagram or minimum mode pin diagram, so based on which mode he is asking, you have to represent only one functionality, not both the functionalities. If you people are mentioning both the functionalities, even if you are explaining only the specified functionality, your marks are going to be reduced for you. Clear? So based on the question, you need to draw the pin diagram. If he is not specifically mentioning anything, you can draw both the functionalities. So now I'll be explaining you minimum mode pin details. The remaining pins are common. And now in order to activate 8086 in minimum mode to the pin number 33, the input should be 1 or 0. To activate 8086 in pin minimum mode, pin number 33 should be minimum mode or maximum mode.
So it should
Minimum.
be one, ma'am.
It should be in minimum mode. To make it in minimum mode, what should be the value to pin number 33?
One.
To the pin number
One.
33, you need to provide 1. Just give me a second more. Sorry for that, ma. Okay. So now when we are providing 1 to pin number 33, a value 1 to pin number 33, now 8086 is ready to operate in minimum mode. So now we'll see the functionalities in between pin number 21. Look at pin number 24, ma. Pin number 24, it was written as INTA whole bar. So what is it mean is interrupt acknowledgement. Interrupt acknowledgement. It is related to pin number 18. This pin number 24 functionality, when it is operating in minimum mode, it is related to pin number 18. So what I have told you, when any external device is sending interrupt through this particular pin number 18, processor may accept the interrupt or it may deny the interrupt. So if in case processor is accepting that particular interrupt but not immediately, say for example, I'm taking the class and I got a call from student. So when I am in the class, I'm not in a position to answer that particular call. So I haven't picked up his call. And after my class, that means execution of my program is done. The class delivery is over, lecture is over. So now I am free. So now I want to talk to the student. I want to talk to the student who has made a call to me during my lecture session. So what will I do? I'll call back to him. I'll call back to him. That means I am giving acknowledgement to the student that yes, now I am free. You can make a call to me or you can answer my call so that you can pass on the information that you want to send me. So interrupt acknowledgement to the external devices can be sent through this particular pin number 24. Guys, did you understand what I'm explaining?
Yes, ma'am.
When
Yes,
device
ma'am.
sent an interrupt through pin number 18, at that time processor is busy, it is not in a position to accept that interrupt. But once the processor becomes free, now he want to serve that interrupt. He want to see what exactly the interrupt and what it can do for it. So whenever it becomes free and whenever it want to serve the interrupt that has come from pin number 18, it can't take it as it easily, because whoever has sent this particular interrupt, that particular device may be free or it may be busy in sending interrupts to others. So before directly sending or before directly responding to that interrupt, a processor will send one acknowledgement to pin number 24. Through pin number 24, it will send interrupt acknowledgement to that particular device by saying that yes, now I am free. Tell me what can I do for you. That kind of acknowledgement it will send to the external device through pin number 24. Now coming to pin number 25. Pin number 25, ALE. ALE. It stands for address latch enable. Address latch enable. So this particular pin, if pin number 25, that is nothing but ALE is equals to 1. If ALE is equals to 1, then whatever the multiplexed pins are there, whatever the multiplexed pins, whether they are address and data multiplexed or address and status multiplexed, they will be demultiplexed. They will be demultiplexed, or simply you can remember that if pin number 25 is equals to 1, if pin number 25 is equals to 1 in minimum mode, then that indicates that the information available on all the multiplexed pins is related to address only. I'm repeating it once again. If pin number 25 receives 1 as an input when 8086 is in minimum mode, that indicates that all the multiplexed pins are having address related information. Guys, are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Whether it is in minimum mode or whether it is in maximum mode, irrespective of mode, if you want to segregate whether it is address or data or status, it will be depending on the time periods T1, T2, T3. Based on that, you can say whether it is address line or data line. But when you are operating that particular mode, if you are operating that in minimum mode, so based on irrespective of time period, now you no need to look into the timing signals. Now you can look at the input of pin number 25. If pin number 25 is having an input of 1, address latch enable, that indicates that the multiplexed pins are carrying address. Okay, if mode is not specified, whether it is minimum mode or maximum mode, if mode is not specified, then you need to look into the timing signals to decide whether address is present or not. Guys, clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, pin number 26, DEN bar. DEN bar, that means data enable. 25 is address latch enable. 26 is data enable. What is the functioning of 25? The same functionality will be done by the 26, but the difference is that if 25 is receiving 1, multiplexed pins will have address information. If 26 is receiving 0, if 26 is receiving 0, then multiplexed pins will have data information. Guys, are you following me?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Data enable, if 26 is activated, pin number 26 is activated, that means if to give 1 as an input to 26, DEN bar should be 0. If pin number 26 receives 0, the information at multiplexed pins will be data. If pin number 25 receives 1, the information at multiplexed pins will be address. That is the relation between 25 and 26. And next, moving on to the 27. What is 27? DT slash R bar, data transmit or receive. Data transmit or receive. So value at pin number 27, value at pin number 27 gives us an information that whether the processor is transmitting the data or the processor is receiving the data. Now you tell me, if pin number 25 is 27 is equals to 0, if pin number 27 is equals to 0, now you tell me whether the processor is transmitting the data or receiving the data. If 27 pin is
Receiving.
receiving 0, pin number 27 value is 0. Data is transmitted or received by the processor?
Received.
Any other answers, boys? Boys, did you get my question?
If input is 0, it will receive the data.
If input to pin number 27 is 0, that indicates that processor is receiving the data. Very good, ma. If pin number 27 is receiving 1, that indicates that processor is transmitting the data. So clear with 27, ma? Guys, are we
Yes,
clear
ma'am.
with pin number 27?
Yes,
Next,
ma'am.
pin number 28. Pin number 28, it was written as M/IO. That means memory or in-output devices. Memory or input-output devices. Value at pin number 28. Value at pin number 28 decides whether processor is communicating with memory or the processor is communicating with input-output devices. Whether the processor is communicating with memory or the processor is communicating with input-output devices. That information will be provided by the pin number 28. If pin number 28 is equals to 1, if pin number 28 is equals to 1, that indicates that processor is communicating with memory. If pin number 28 value is 0, then that indicates that processor is communicating with input-output devices. Guys, clear with 28?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
And next,
ma'am.
pin number 29. Pin number 29. It was written as WR bar, right. Its functioning is right. If pin number 25 is equals to 0, if pin number 29 is equals to 0, that indicates that processor is writing data to the external devices. If pin number 29 is equal to the external devices. If it is 0, then that indicates that it is not writing any data to the external devices. That is about 29. And pin number 30 and 31, see here, ma, pin number 31 is hold. Pin number 31 is hold, and pin number 30 is HLDA. Hold, and HLDA stands for hold acknowledgement. 31 is hold and 30 is hold acknowledgement. See here. Here you need to keep your concentration a little more. See, there are two systems. Two systems in the sense two microprocessors. Processor 1 and processor 2. Every processor will be having some, every processor will have buses. Every processor will have buses, because through the buses only the data is being transferred or the address is being transferred to the processor. Everything, every communication within the processor will happen through buses only. So here, if any external processor or any external system wants to take control over the internal buses. See here processor 1 is there, processor 2 is there. If processor 2 wants to take the control over the bus signals related to processor 1, I'm repeating this statement. If processor 2 wants to take the control of bus signals of processor 1, then it will send that request through pin number 31. What it says, I want to hold on, or I want to take the control on the bus signals related to processor 1. That information will be sent through pin number 31 to the processor 1. Then processor 1, if it is not making use of those bus signals, then processor 1 will say to the processor, anything with the bus signal, you can take control over my bus signal. So in that way, it will acknowledge the processor 2 through pin number 30. Guys, did you understand functionality of 31 and 30?
Yes, ma'am.
If any system, if any external system wants to take the control of buses of one particular system, that request will be sent through pin number 31. Here, controlling means holding. if other system wants to hold on the bus signals of one particular system, and if that one particular system is ready to hand over his bus signals to the other person, then it will acknowledge it through the pin number 30. So pin number 30 and 31 both are to be used at a time, and they will be used by the other systems. Guys, are you clear with this, ma?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So pin number 24 to pin number 31, these are new to you. I'll brief you once again. Pin number 24, interrupt acknowledgement. If processor wants to serve, the interrupt that has been received through 18, then it will acknowledge the device, that particular device, whomever has sent this interrupt, that will processor will acknowledge that particular device through pin number 24. And pin number 25, pin number 25 value is 1, that indicates that all the multiplexed pins are having address values. If pin number 26 is 0, then that indicates that all the multiplexed pins are having data information with them. And pin number 27, if it is equals to 1, that indicates that processor is transmitting the data. If it is equals to 0, that indicates that processor is receiving data. If pin number 28 is equals to 1, that indicates that processor is communicating with memory. If pin number 28 is equals to 0, then that indicates that processor is communicating with input-output devices. Pin number 25, 29, if pin number 29 is equals to 0, that indicates that processor is writing some data to the external devices. If it is equals to 1, processor is not performing any writing operation. Pin number hold on the control over the bus signals of one particular system, then that will send that request to pin number 31. And if that particular system is ready, or if it wants to release those bus signals so that the other processor can make use of them, if it is ready, then it will send the acknowledge through pin number 30. Guys, am I clear with minimum mode?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And next we'll be moving on to the maximum mode. See here, maximum mode. You try to observe what is the difference between pin number 24 to pin number 31, ma? See, pin number 24 and 25, they are named as QS1 and QS0. QS1 and QS0. So pin number 24 and pin number 25, they will be giving information related to the Q. In 80 architecture, in bus interface unit, we have Q, right? Guys, are you able to recollect it? Q of 6 bytes.
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever the next instruction that is to be executed, everything will be fetched and it will be stored in Q, right?
Ma'am.
That information, whether Q is empty or whether it is dealing with 1 byte of instruction, or whether it is not performing anything, operation of Q, what exactly the status of Q? The status of Q is being provided by the QS0 and QS1. Status of the Q is being provided by the QS0 and QS1. And if both are zeros, if both QS0 and QS1 both are zeros, that indicates that there is no operation. That means Q is not performing any operation. If both the bits are zeros, that indicates that Q is not performing any operation. If QS1 is 1 and QS0 is 0, if 24, pin number 24 is equals to 1 and pin number 25 is equals to 0, then that indicates that Q is empty. Q is empty. If 24 is equals to 1 and if 25 is equals to 0, that indicates that Q is empty, so that processor can fill the Q with next instruction. If both are zeros, that indicates that even though Q is filled up, the Q is not performing any operation. That is the meaning when both are zeros. If 24 is 1 and 25 is 0, that indicates that Q is empty. Q is empty. And reverse of this, if 25 is equals to 1, if 25 is equals to 1 and if 24 is equals to 0, that indicates that first byte of opcode from the Q, is being executed by the EIU. Or you can simply remember that when reverse operation, that is nothing but when QS0 is equals to 1 and QS1 is equals to 0, that indicates that one byte of instruction is being executed by the EU execution unit. And next, if both are ones, if both the values are ones, then that indicates that subsequent byte, first byte is being executed, then its next byte is going to be executed. That is the meaning of 24th and 25th. If both are 0, no operation. If both are 1, subsequent bytes are in execution. If one is 1 and another one is 0, queue is empty. And if reverse operation, the first byte of the queue is in execution. That is the meaning of pin number 25 and pin number 24 inputs. Guys, are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes,
next,
ma'am.
pin number 26, 27, 28. That is nothing but S0 bar, S1 bar and S2 bar. So these three pins together will give you an idea of what exactly 8086 microprocessor is doing. What is the operation that is being carried out by the 8086? See here. Here you can see the truth table related to S2 bar, S1 bar and S0 bar. If both the pins are zeros, if both the pins are given with zeros, then that indicates that processor is acknowledging one interrupt. Processor is acknowledging one interrupt. And if both the inputs are receiving this combination 0 0 1, then that indicates that processor is reading data from the input output devices. Processor is reading data from the input output devices. And if the combination is 0 1 0, that indicates that processor is writing data to the IO ports. Processor is writing data to the IO ports. And if the combination is 0 1 1, halt. Halt means processor is currently under wait mode. Temporarily, processor is temporarily taking rest. If the values at S2 bar, S1 bar and S0 bar are 0 1 1, that indicates that processor is temporarily under rest mode. That means it is not doing any operation, but it hasn't stopped completely. For a time period of 1 microsecond or 2 microsecond, it will be in halt mode. Halting means temporarily under rest mode. And next, if the combination is 1 0 0, then that indicates that it is accessing the port segment. It is accessing the port segment. And next, for 101, that indicates that processor is reading the data from memory. See here, ma. You try to observe the difference between 001 and 101. If 001 is the input, that indicates that processor is reading data from IO ports. If the combination is 101, then that indicates that processor is reading data from memory. Guys, are you following?
Yes, ma'am.
And next, if the combination is 110, then that indicates that processor is writing data to the memory. Writing data to IO devices and writing data to memory, both are different, both are not same. And if all the three bits are ones, then this indicates that processor is not doing anything. It is completely in rest mode. Halt means it is temporarily in rest mode. If 111 is the input to this pin number 26, 27 and 28, that indicates that processor is not performing any operation. Processor is completely free. That is the functionality of 26, 27 and 28. And next, moving on to the pin number 29, that is nothing but lock bar. Pin number 28, see here, ma'am. If pin number 29 is equals to 0, if pin number 29 is equals to 0, then that indicates that processor 1 has logged its buzz lines so that processor 2 cannot take the control of these buzz lines. Guys, did you understand this statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Pin number 29 is log bar. Pin number 29 value is 0, means this value will be provided by the processor. If processor is giving 0 to pin number 29, that indicates that I am making use of my control buses. I have logged it. So please don't ask me to release the control bus. That is the meaning of pin number 29. It will be locking its buses. The complete control buses will be under processor 1 itself. And next, pin number 30 and pin number 31, they are nothing but request and grant. Pin number 30 and 31 are request and grant pins. These will be used by the local bus masters. These will be used by the local, see here, within the processor. Previously, when I'm explaining hold and HLDA, I have taken two processors, processor 1 and processor 2. When processor 2 wants to take the control of processor 1 buses, I have explained that. Here, this 30 and 31, they are within the processor. Within the processor itself, for address lines, there will be one master. For data lines, there will be another master. And for control buses, there will be another master. So, if within the processor, if one master wants to take the control over, other master, then they will send their request to pin number 30 and 31, and through the pin number 30 and 31 only they will get the permission also. If processor grants the permission, then that will be acknowledged through pin number 30 and 31 only. But here, if you observe pin number 30 and 31, pin number 30 is having request or grant 1. Pin number 31 is having request or grant 0. Here among these two, request or grant 0 will be given higher priority than 1. Request or grant 0 will be given higher priority than request or grant 1. Its functionality is very similar to hold and HLDA, whereas hold and HLDA will happen between the two systems, whereas this request and grant will happen within the system itself. Guys, are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And now what you will do, I'll show you the first basic diagram. Now you draw the entire pin diagram. I'll give you time, draw the entire pin diagram. And then after drawing this particular pin diagram, you separately redraw the pin diagram for minimum mode as well as separately redraw the pin diagram for maximum mode. 3 different diagrams, pin diagrams should be there in your notebook. Do it fastly. Guys, did you understand what I'm saying? Guys, are you there or not?
Yes, ma'am.
3 different